In 2017, I officially switched from using Python to C#, and I love the change, but there are a bunch of things that I should have known much earlier, and these are really simple everyday things that you probably already know. Some of them are stuff that you don't know you need to know until you actually do. Tip number 1, use JetBrains Writer. I'm just kidding, but it's a great idea though. The real tip number 1 is string validation. I'm not kidding. Starting out with C#, I would do null and empty checks this way until I discovered the shorthand IsNullOrEmpty. So tip number 2, the collection initializer syntax. It took me way too long to realize that I can make my own custom collection classes that use this curly brackets to add items. I just thought it was some C# magic that only worked with native lists. But you can actually create these classes yourself that use the initializer syntax. Here's the video collection class, and all you need to do is implement the IEnumerable interface and have an add method. This next one might not be your everyday go-to. As you already know, value types are passed by value, but using the ref or in parameter modifier, you can possibly save some expensive defensive copies. You're allowed to alter a value type state using ref, and you can even do reassignment. The in keyword is, however, a read-only ref. You can no longer alter state or do reassignment. This may be great for performance-critical areas and operations. Next up are attributes. Attributes are so underrated by beginner developers. These are like the bread and butter of open-close principle in C#. Say we have this transaction class, which we need to represent in different formats, such as plain text and CSV, like this right here. For the plain text, we'll just iterate the properties and values. For the CSV, notice the property names are capitalized and the account and beneficiary values are escaped with quote marks. I've created 2 formatters that will take care of this. When we run the CSV formatter, you will see the CSV content, and here's the plain text content. So again, taking a look at this class, you see that the CSV formatter was actually reading the attributes and the plain text was just iterating the properties as they are. If you're more interested in seeing how I implemented this, let me know in the comments. Actions, functs, and predicates were a huge mystery to me. I had absolutely no clue about how or why they worked, but they seem to be used everywhere. I typically remember it as actions do stuff, functs return things, and predicates verify conditions or inputs. This action takes no input, it just prints hey, and the next action takes a string and prints the input. The first generic a funct takes is always what it will return. If a funct takes more than one generic, it will only return the last. All others are inputs. Predicates are like a func, but they only return true or false. So that was it.